Whakalawhalahi atu and good evening. Tonight's news bulletin. Invasive species on the island continues as a priority for Environment Department this week as they meet advisors from the Secretariat of the Pacific Regional Environment Program. David Moverley from SPREP said the discussions this week is still focusing on finding mechanisms to address this issue.
So I guess once invasive species make it into the country, they become a different issue. Some of the invasive species here, such as Wedelia, is one of the plants which they've worked on in the past, which the work's slowed down a lot following the cyclone in 2004. But we believe that issues such as that one can still be easily managed and probably eradicated from Niue, whereas there are other species which are widespread now, such as Honolulu rose, Maremia vine, Mycania micrantha, which is actually used here as a traditional medicine, so we have to be careful also about what we decide to target. But there are species which we can eradicate. Others we'll be looking more to means such as biological control. In the past we've had 2 beetles released here for lantana, which apparently I'm of the understanding that lantana is hardly an issue now following the introduction of those 2 beetles. Other plants which have had biocontrol introduced here, such as the mimosa by the airport, hasn't done so well. So looking around the Pacific for other biocontrol agents which exist in other countries will be a prime opportunity for Niue. Niue is fortunate enough to, most people would say it's unfortunate, but it is fortunate that a lot of the plant species here are not unique to Niue. They're found in other places around the Pacific. So what that means is often most of the work is already done to host test biological control agents on the other plants that are here. So it's actually quite a cheap process for Niue to adopt biological control agents that have already been introduced in other countries around the Pacific to help control their problems.
However, the challenges of eradication need to also consider biodiversity and humans.
We have talked about that today, and obviously the government can't do everything, and the people here in the communities are a huge part of managing their environment and using their environment. So what we will be looking at ways that we can suggest communities to manage their problems themselves in a safe manner. That's very important. We don't want to put the community at risk or anything like that, but it's very important that the community is aware and capable of addressing some of the issues. That is going to require a little bit of research and coming up with innovative ways that we can get the community to help. There's also the safety side of things. Obviously Niue with no streams or rivers and a water that goes straight through to the pan is an important consideration with the use of herbicides, things like that. So we'll be looking at what herbicides are currently used, maybe looking at better alternatives, which tools like that we could recommend that the community be able to use safely. So looking at ways that we can deal with invasive species, and particularly safe ways which the community can also help out with, I think will be key to the future of addressing some of these plants and other invasive species in the future.
Mr. Moverley said Niue is fortunate as many of the invasive species on the island have previously tested elsewhere for eradication solutions, and Niue might be able to obtain some of the solutions to address the issues on the island. It's not only the flora and fauna that have invasive tendencies, but animals and other living species are also at risk. 6 community and local groups have started implementing projects through the Telefood project funded by the Food and Agricultural Organisation. Telefood projects around the world have been making a difference in the lives of small-scale farming communities that have been designed to increase food production. According to the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, Niue previously received assistance back in 2008 with the establishment of piggeries. The projects this time round have $10,000 for each of the 6 projects. They range from successful applications from Avasele to set up chicken pens, the Mokotonga Community Vegetable Gardens, a group interested in citrus tree propagation, a fisheries project specifically targeted at flying fish, and Hakupu women propagating fruit trees. But there have also been some challenges that have added to project delays.
One of the problems we've had in terms of these Telefood projects is the fact that $10,000 doesn't get you US dollars, doesn't get you much in terms of New Zealand dollars. So we've had to downsize some of the projects because of the increase in costs of material and because of the exchange rates. In terms of success, I think it is a good thing that the last project that we had in 2008, they're still using those farming systems that we put in place. And since then, we have only just managed to secure 6 new projects. But it's taken us a good 3 years from the time the proposals were developed until now, because FAO has their own systems. We spent much of last year trying to procure equipment, and with that is getting free quotes and then submitted to FAO and then the approval process. And from there, retailers are paid directly from FAO, and then goods came on the island, by which time some of the situations had changed within the villages, and therefore there was another delay in trying to get sort out recipients for the individual projects.
According to one of the recipient villages, Mokotonga, the project has been a welcome addition to community development. The 2 community gardens will mean less reliance on imported vegetables. When you can produce your own, that is also rewarding in itself. We asked the department in regards to Niue's projects and progress this far.
We've actually done quite well in terms of implementing these 6. And unfortunately, I am quite a bit sad to say that this year FAO main office in Rwanda ran out of funds for the Telefood projects. So these are currently put on hold. We are working with FAO to try and identify other ways or sources of funding to help fund these projects, because we find that even though $10,000 doesn't seem like much, it makes a lot of difference to communities and to projects on the ground, and we can see like tangible outcomes from them, which make a difference to the livelihoods of our people as well.
Ensuring food security and production is very important, and although $10,000 may not seem like much money in comparison to other larger projects, the recipient groups and communities are truly appreciative of the assistance. DAF says that the Telefood projects will be on hold as FAO have run out of funds, but the department will look at finding other ways to fund future projects. School holidays are well into the first week, and Tuasea has been the base for a number of programs facilitated by the youth with a mission group. For the past 3 days, they have been sharing their experiences and educating young people, with over 30 children turning up to sessions, which is a good turnout. The group have come to the island with 5 students doing their outreach program, using fun games to gauge the understanding of participants about their relationship with God. We caught up with the group at Tuasea while they were in the middle of a program with children on school holiday.
Our group is really in 2 parts. The first part is the students, and they're doing a DTS outreach, which they spend 3 months discipling and learning about Jesus and how to be missionaries, and then this part of the trip to Niue is for them to get experience in that. And then the second part of our group is an older class, and we're looking at ways to help Niue and other countries with sustainable technologies, and so that's the 2 parts of our group.
Our main purpose is first, to educate them about God if they don't already know. It seems like a lot of the kids already know, but maybe to have them have a deeper relationship with God. So, but besides that, we just want to have fun with them because you're a kid, you want to have fun. So behind you there's a volleyball net. Right now they're playing soccer. Then also rugby can be out there and frisbee. And then behind the house there's a water slide, and we also have some water balloons ready for later.
With 8 very enthusiastic team members, there are 5 were students who have completed their first 3 months of training before coming to Niue to serve their outreach program.
We're doing some work with a lot of work with the youth, just Bible studies in the schools and fitness programs, and working with the youth here at a holiday program. And then we've been meeting with some of the elders in different villages, talking about future projects and future relationships with sustainable technologies as far as energy and micro business, and ways that we feel that Niue could build up and carry themselves well into the future.
We were hoping there was more kids, but 40 is still a lot. About 30 to 40 every day. Today is a little bit less, but it's a pretty good turnout every day. And a lot of the kids are interacting. They're using the water slides and talking with us and just having fun. So I think it's been really good just to get to know the kids better. I was born in Russia, so it's super, super hot here. So, but the people are awesome. I went to Africa for my outreach. This is what we're doing, our group. I'm the leader, and there's 5 students that I'm leading. And when I went to Africa, I was one of the students, and it's super hot there also. So when I came here, it's still really hot and humid, but it's a lot better for me.
We would like in the future to partner with the local churches and or some villages and bring a YWAM base to Niue is our long-term vision, and then they would be able to participate in all the training programs, which would be discipleship, and we have training in everything: medical, sustainable energies, healthcare, business, anything that the world needs to run, all spheres of society. YWAM offers programs so that will train up the youth and young people and even older people. We have people in our mission that are all the way from little kids to 70, 80-year-olds. So it's called Youth with a Mission, but that's who we're focusing on. So we take all ages and all walks of life.
Although the focus may be on youth, YWAM works with all ages and people from all walks of life. The YWAM group will depart in November, but are looking forward to doing more training and outreach programs with young people on the island. Niue Touch Rugby concluded yesterday with a well-deserved win to Team Niue New Zealand. Congratulatory achievements were further acknowledged at the prize-giving ceremony at the conclusion of the games at the Alofi Rugby Club. President of Niue Island Touch Association, Stan Kaloni, acknowledged and recognised the effort by Team Niue New Zealand to arrive on the island for the tournament and commended their skills on a game much loved here in Niue. As for the champions, the excitement of the first visit and the potential to develop the game for youngsters is great, with some suggesting an annual competition on the island to introduce some of their colleagues to trace back their roots and promote touch rugby is a good combination. The final standings for teams and players, individual awards for the tournament: New Zealand player went to Jason Tomai, New Zealand player or coach Kenneth Tohovaka, New Zealand female player Jackie Talangi and Rhonda Tongipau. Best male player for Niue, Telefood Tupuiliu. Best female player, Oveta Pearson. Most improved in males, Jeconiah Okesani. Most improved female, Gemma Paka. Best try, Telefood Tupuiliu. As for the team prizes, first place went to the Niue New Zealand team. Second placing went to the Niue Open Men's and also to Niue Open Mix. Third place went to Alofi Men's, and third place in the mix went to Tuapa. Youngest player went to Petaya Ainuu, and oldest New Zealand player Mike Iwanga. And the Paparazzi Prize went to BV. Congratulations to all winners and players who took part in the tournament, and we wish Team Niue New Zealand the best in all their future games.